So, what is Zen? Zen is about being completely alive, being alert, being awakened, no longer asleep. We'll talk more about that later. It's also about the search for truth. I spoke about that briefly in the last section. We're really looking for ultimate truth. Not my ideas, not your ideas, not my truth, not your truth, ultimate truth. That when everything is removed and you've looked at it from every angle, the only possibility is that this thing is true. Zen is also how we decondition ourselves. We have a lot of misconceptions and false beliefs and fake realities that we've created, and we need to decondition ourselves so we can see true reality. It's also about enlightenment, and we'll talk quite a bit about that. Enlightenment literally comes from the word to lighten. It's more about what you get rid of, the burdens that you remove. That's what makes you lighter and enlightens you. Serenity. Serenity, in a lot of ways, is just the absence of false beliefs and peace and quiet in the mind. That's what creates serenity. Most of the beliefs, most of the values, most of the philosophies within the Zen system, these pieces of ancient wisdom, are all about creating serenity. It's one of the ultimate goals. Truth, wisdom, serenity. Now, Zen's going to teach us a lot of new philosophies. That's one of the great pieces. You can use as many or as few as you want. Each one will give you a major advantage in life and a whole new outlook on life. Zen also helps us to increase our level of understanding, and we talked about that in the first part, that there's multiple layers to things. Sometimes it's not even right or wrong, good or bad. It's helpful or hurtful. Does this help me to grow, or is this helping me to shrink? So multiple levels of understanding. Sometimes there's more than one true answer to things, and that's the ultimate truth. Zen helps us also to remove old pain, old suffering. That's part of the enlightenment that we talked about earlier. And Zen's about seeing the layer between things. Things are very complex. What do you have between black and white? A boatload of gray. So we're going to look at that gray and be able to see it clearly and understand the nuances of things. Zen also allows us to live in the now. This is a key piece. Eckhart Tolle wrote an entire book called The Power of Now. It was all about staying in the moment. It's that important. And it's a major piece of the Zen philosophy. Zen is also a better way of being in the world. How we're going to be as people, how we're going to act and interact, how we're going to be with ourselves, how we're going to be with others, and how we're going to be with our environment. I love this philosophy. Zen is about being completely alive. What does that mean? Well, it means connectedness between myself and others, between myself and my environment, my world, even spirituality. It's about being present, being in the moment, fully aware. We talked a little bit earlier about the blank slate philosophy, being able to let go of all thinking so that I can absorb new concepts in without any filter, without anything blocking the way. It's about absorbing. It's about drinking in the entirety of life, enjoying every little moment, every little nuance. It's about getting all the juice out of life. Being completely alive is about enjoyment. One of the major goals of life is to have happiness, to have fulfillment, to have enjoyment. And finally, it's about contentment. Contentment is huge. Contentment means you're well satisfied with what you have and what you've been and what you're doing and in each moment. Zen is also how we gain enlightenment and serenity. Enlightenment, like we spoke of earlier, is literally to lighten the burdens we let go of and to be able to cut down the chattering of our mind. Wang Zhou is the study of the blank mind or the no mind. It's the ability to let go of the inner chatter, all the negativity, all the ramblings of the mind, and simply let it go. It's about letting go of the ego, the false sense of self that creates negativity, spews negativity, all the things that you hate about yourself, And all the negativity that you tell yourself about yourself is created by this false ego. We're going to go over that later and how to break that down. It's about being in the now, not in the past, not in the future, in the now, enjoying the moment. If you're not in the now, you're not actually alive. We'll talk more about that later. It's about seeking wisdom from within and without, so you can go internal and find wisdom, and you can also go external and find wisdom. Make sure you're using both. And it's about release. It's about letting go. It's about relaxation, removal of tension and pain. Zen is also the search for truth. Not my truth, not your truth, the truth. We're looking for the ultimate reality. Zen, bottom line, is the search for truth. That's why I said Zen is like a science. So we're looking for true reality and to enjoy that experience of reality. We're also looking for things that are useful. Remember I said sometimes things aren't true or false? They're useful or not useful, helpful or hurtful, harmful or healing. There's also multiple truths. A lot of times many things are true about the same thing. We'll look at that a little bit later. And also about application. How do we take these new understanding, these new wisdoms, and apply them to our life so they become effective and they start making deep changes in our lives? Because that's the beauty of it, to make a better life for yourself and then by extension, those around you. Zen is also how we decondition ourselves. As a therapist, I'm always fascinated by this. There's something called the imprint period. We're going to go over that later. It's when you're programmed as a child. There's also the phenomenon of the blind leading the blind. Everybody else is trapped in a false reality, much like you were at one point, or maybe at this point. Therefore, when we seek others to find the truth, we can't find it because they don't know it any better than we do. It'd be like asking a 3-year-old advice on your dating life. They don't know, but they might try to come up with an answer, but whatever they come up with is going to be terrible. And if at 3 years old, if they've ever dated, they were horrible at it, and all they can give you is advice on how to be horrible. So we have to get out of this trap. We're also going to discover something called the ego, which is a false sense of self. It's a lie, it's a piece of fiction, and it hurts you. So we're going to teach you how to get free of that. We're also going to teach you about how to decondition yourself from scripts. We literally have a set of rules and beliefs and values, literally like an actor in a play. We have scripts that we read off of, programs that we run, and these things are hurting us. So we're going to teach you how to get away from those as much as possible. We're also going to teach you how to reprogram yourself. Zen is about getting away from the old programming and deciding who you want to be, how you want to think. And by rethinking everything and making sure that what you now believe is actually true, you will reprogram yourself. Beautiful, beautiful thing. So Zen is about seeing the layers between things, the layered truth. Let me give you an example of it. A lot of times there's many things that are true about the same thing. So I can say a tree is part of the environment. Is that true? Yes. You say, well, that's it. If anybody says it's anything but that, it's wrong. No. Is the tree alive? Yes. Is it made up of cells? Yes. Is it a solid? Yes. At one level of awareness. At another level of awareness, it's also a liquid. At another level of awareness, it's a vibration. You go deeper into the physics, it's atoms. You get deeper into the physics, it's quarks and light and vibration. So there's different layers of truth, and they can all be true. Zen is also about extrasensory awareness. Not ESP, but extrasensory awareness. Being able to absorb all the information that's coming in. Are you noticing the weight of your butt in the chair? The feeling of the fabric against your body, of the clothes that you're wearing? Are you sensing the movements in the air? When somebody talks to you, do you feel the vibration? There's a lot of extrasensory awareness that people have. And that's before you even get into your unconscious awareness. And Zen is all about new understandings, new ways of looking at things in the world and discovering things. And they say if you want to change the whole world, change the way you look at it. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about new understandings. Zen allows us to live in the now. Now is actually the only time there is. We're going to go in depth in this later. If you're thinking about the past, if you're thinking about the future, you're basically running an old movie in your head or making up a new movie in your head. You're never actually living. We never want to trade now for later either. We don't want to say, well, I'll be happy when. When never comes. Later never comes. Procrastinating forever is never. And we want to remove the past-future illusion. I've got a whole section here that we're going to go into in the next section, looking at the past and future and how to make sure that we are living in the now. So let's jump into that. And I'll see you in the next section.